Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It still feels weird doing that because, yeah, as I said, I've been off for a long time. In today's video, I have a really I think it's exciting. Maybe some of you might not find it as exciting or as interesting, but I thought to myself, what is out there that sometimes makes people a little bit more intrigued or a little bit curious? And to me, what I find always really intriguing is discontinued fragrances. They're my biggest pet peeve, by the way, because let's be honest here. As soon as you find a fragrance that you really enjoy and it becomes discontinued, it's like, not the world falls apart, that's very first world problems, but it's almost as if your first love has just departed. But I find it interesting because reformulations are such a common thing in the perfume industry. Also, you know, sometimes some raw materials go out of stock, or maybe the margins aren't high enough for particular brands for that specific fragrance. So I just thought I'd show you a few different fragrances. I do have some other rare fragrances, but I think you can get them online. Thought I would just share these with you, see if you're interested, and yeah, we can just jump straight into it. So the first fragrance that I have is one that I was so lucky to find. I actually came across it on Depop a few years ago, and somebody, I don't think they knew what they had at the time. It'd been completely discontinued. I think Armani have come out with like a similar version called Sabelle Nuit, which is very similar to this, but nothing will beat Myrrhe Imperiale, and that also explains why the bottle itself is absolutely torn to shreds. Like, it's not a pretty bottle anymore. What is really important is what's in the what's in the bottle itself. So this, wow, this is gorgeous on both women and men. It is a boozy, ambery, incensey fragrance. It smells incredible. It almost has like a honey-like sweetness to it, and that's the only way I can describe it. To me, it smells like a sweeter version of Side Effect from Initio, and it has a very warm, cozy, huggy kind of feeling, but at the same time it leaves an insane scent trail. Whenever I wear it, it just travels with me non-stop, and sometimes that can be amazing, sometimes it can be a little bit of a disaster, because as soon as you wash your clothing and it still smells of that fragrance, you're like, oh, I can't wear another fragrance. This is genuinely one of my most favorite winter fragrances of all time. So warm, sweet, like boozy, incensey, a masterpiece. So that is Myrrhe Imperiale from Giorgio Armani. Now this fragrance is going to shock a lot of you, because you'll say to me, but Pika, you can buy this, so what's your problem? It's probably one of the most popular fragrances you can get out there. But let me explain the backstory of this. This is Alien, right? Hear me out. Alien was reformulated in 2017, and the way I noticed that is I smelled a particular difference between what it used to smell and then the new fragrances. To me, it just smelled really watered down. It smelled a little bit more synthetic. The alcohol, the initial spray lasted for far longer, and it didn't have the richness of the jasmine that it did prior to 2017. I just went on this crazy hunt for a fragrance that was previous to the reformulation, and I had to do so much research. Oh my lord, it was so crazy. You know, sometimes when you get into these things, like, you just need to fulfill your fantasy. My fantasy was having the OG formula, and I found it because it was a limited edition set. It even came with like this bracelet and everything, and that was launched prior to its reformulation. This is Alien, as you guys know, but you know, you can quite literally, you can smell the difference between this one and the new one. This one, the jasmine sambac is so deep. It really reminds me of the same jasmine that you find in Jasmine Rouge from Tom Ford, with a woody sweetness in the background, a bit of a gardenia kind of vibe, mixed with like the sticky, ambery quality. It's just far deeper, far sexier. I know that you can get dupes of this online, which are probably even sometimes better than the original that you can buy in stores. But the difference that it makes, like quality-wise, reformulation-wise, is crazy to me. So I feel very lucky to have this in my collection. I've already gone through quite a bit of it, so I'm hoping it still lasts me a little bit. So yeah, that's my crazy story of how I came across this very popular fragrance that you can literally buy anywhere. So that's Alien from Mugler. So the next fragrance that I have is one that I really love, and I've worn it, but do you know what it is? Like, over time, I feel like that patchouli base isn't working well on my skin. For some reason, it's just mixing and it doesn't quite smell right towards the end. For the life of me, I don't know why, but I absolutely love it. So this is my dilemma. I'm not entirely sure whether to keep it, whether to sell it, because I spent a lot of money on it. I'm thinking, is it really worth me selling it? Because I do really enjoy it. So this is M.Micallef Royal Mango Ananda. This, oh my gosh, it took me absolutely ages to find it. I had to walk all corners of the earth literally to find it. I found it through a Russian retailer, which I had to get shipped from Russia to the UK. Absolutely insane, but it was so worth it, and I really enjoy it. I think this was like a Moscow special. Quite expensive, but it was worth it because I really enjoyed the fragrance. From the name, you probably already know what's in this fragrance. So it opens up with this really nice ripe mango, so not like a sweet tangy kind of mango, but quite an overripe mango, similar to the one that you'd find in Xerjoff. And then what makes this fragrance so unique is it has a note of chocolate. You can distinctly smell the cacao. It's so strange, but in a really nice way. So if you can imagine like mixing mango with cacao, and then it goes down into like a really warm, musky patchouli base. To me, it almost smells like a fruity chypre fragrance. So if you're really into that, I would say try to explore whether you can still find this. As I said, I had to literally walk all corners of the earth to find this in Russia, out of all places. So maybe you might be able to find it there. I'm still a little bit torn whether to keep it or to sell it. So if anyone is interested, if they've smelled this before and they really love it, just comment below or DM me or email me and maybe I'll consider it. So yeah, that's Ananda Royal Mango by M.Micallef. So another fragrance that I have is one that I think a lot of people bought a few years ago when it was still in stock, and it did really well. I think it was very popular at the time. I still really enjoy it. I've literally got nothing left in the bottle, and that makes me very sad. I really hope that one day that they relaunch this, because I think it's such a shame with it being such an incredible fragrance. So this is from the Magic Collection of Viktor and Rolf. It's discontinued now, but it's called Dancing Roses. I think a lot of you will remember, if you're OG subscribers from the very beginning, I used to rave about this fragrance non-stop. I need to take a minute just to understand the beauty of this fragrance. It's so feminine, it's so sweet, but in the nicest way. It's not cloying in any way. If you're a cherry fan, this will blow your socks off. It's a very beautiful mix of cherry mixed with bourbon, like this rummy, bourbony type of booziness, mixed with a very light peony type of rose. I know peony and rose are different, but it almost smells more like peony rather than rose. You can very hardly smell it, to be honest, and it creates like a nice cherry liqueur kind of fragrance mixed with that light peony. It's a little bit soapy, but I quite enjoy that, because sometimes with heavier fragrances it can be a little bit cloying, but as I said, with this one it's not cloying at all. I would love to rebuy it. I don't know where from, because I've literally searched the earth for it all across the internet. I can't find it anywhere. If you guys have any websites that I can buy it, maybe secondhand, I'd really appreciate it. But in the meantime, unfortunately, it's discontinued. So that's Dancing Roses by Viktor and Rolf. So the last fragrance that I have is one from Roja, and typically I don't buy a lot of Roja fragrances. The only reason being is because some of them I don't think are worth the cost. I'll be completely honest with you. Some of them I absolutely adore, but as I said, with every brand and every house, it's hit and miss, right? There'll be some that you absolutely go crazy for and some that you just don't think is worth it. This is one that I'm so sad they discontinued. For the life of me, Roja, if you were ever to relaunch a fragrance, this would be one to relaunch. If I had the chance, I would buy the 100ml version, and I would absolutely adore it. I searched far and wide, can't find it, and it's a massive shame, because as I said, I really enjoy it. So this is called Ahlam. And I believe it was a specific celebrity that he collabed with. It just smells so feminine, very powdery, sweet, has a little bit of like an eau de cool just sitting in the background, which gives it a little bit more of a base to sit on. But apart from that, as I said, it tends to be a little bit more on the powdery side, opens up with a lovely citrusy kind of opening. But to me, what is absolutely incredible is just the sheer blend of florals in this feminine aura around you. The amount of times that I've been complimented on this fragrance, it's unreal. The performance on it is really great in comparison to his other fragrances. With this being a little bit less expensive than his other ones, I tend to find that this does very, very well. And I know that, you know, naturals and absolutes, they don't necessarily have the best projections and blah, blah, blah. But when you are purchasing a fragrance for literally hundreds and hundreds of pounds, you'd expect it to have good performance, whereas this one definitely does. And as I said, I'm incredibly sad that they've discontinued this. If anyone can get a hand on like a 100ml version, please comment down below. I'd be very, very appreciative of that. So that's Ahlam by Roja. So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit of a stranger one. I thought you might find this a little bit interesting. You might be curious. As I said, I do have fragrances from other brands which tend to be just out of stock or just really hard to get. I didn't think it would be worth like putting those fragrances in this video because it doesn't really make sense. But yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please leave a thumbs up, comment down below, and look forward to seeing you guys. See you later.